Hello everybody. So I'm back. I'm back because I want to go over a few things in regards to the procedure. And I have some things written down so I don't forget. Yesterday or day before I said that I didn't know what they were doing, but a good thing about this place is they actually instruct you. So if you don't understand something, they will gladly go over it with you to help you understand the process a little better. So just kind of like a timeline. First thing is sending the 3D scans to them so that they can look at your mouth to see if you are possibly a candidate for the all-on-4, or in my case all-on-4. In your case, if you're watching this video, obviously you are interested in the all-on-4 or some sort of denture implant. After that, you arrive at the clinic. Most people stay 5 to 6 days for the first phase. It really just depends on the person, the procedures, what's being done, so on and so forth. So keep that in mind, throughout this entire event, keep that in mind. Everyone is different. So when you arrive at the clinic for your consult, they're going to talk to you about your mouth and your goals and so on and so forth. They're going to do the impressions and updated x-rays too. They will do updated x-rays. And the impressions, so those are for the healing denture or temporary denture that you leave with during this process, and they are also, it helps them to make the surgical guide, and the surgical guide is what is used to place the implant inside your mouth. So those lines that I was talking about that they were marking, that is because they use the CAD and CAB technology, which is 3D, very high tech. So it's very high tech. Anyways, they use that to place the implants. I had no idea that the actual placement of the implant, in my case, again, keep that in mind throughout my videos, I had no idea that it would only take like 10 minutes to place the implants. When he told me that, I was blown away. I was like, wow, that's wild. That's pretty wild. So it only takes about 10 minutes to place the implant inside of my mouth. Like I said, it couldn't be different for everybody. If you have full mouth extractions or just some extractions, and you have sinus lifts and you need bone grafts, everyone is different. So please keep that in mind going into this. Let's see here. Guided surgery may or may not be needed. That is, dependent on the situation, and they said that patients can definitely request the guided surgery. So keep that in mind too. You can request, it's the ball's still in your park. So keep that in mind. I am hoping to have the process, the kind of like the behind the scenes process of how they go through this process with the CAD and CAB, with the, digital x-rays and the impression and the resin that they use to make this plate. And then I'm going to insert kind of like 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to be able to see the first one. That is that surgical guide that I am talking about, the resin and the impression that they're making. That is what they use to place the implant and also do the impressions. And then of course, for those of you who might already be denture wearers or not, you're going to have your number 2, your temporary healing denture. And then the final number 3, that is going to be the zirconia superstructure, or the teeth. And that is a whole different process when you come back, because this is going to be a 2-step process for sure. For me, 2 steps for sure. And that's because once all of this is done and the implants are placed inside of your jaw, you have 4 to 6 months of healing. You have to let that implant and the bone fuse together. It's a very important process to allow that to fuse. I know that me personally, I am going to be taking the 6 months. My bone could be ready in 3 months, but I don't care. I'm taking the 6 months. It's just, I would much rather give my bone the best possible outcome and the implant. So I'm definitely taking the 6 months. And for me, it's a little bit easier for me, and that is because, I'm used to wearing dentures already, so it's no big surprise for me whatsoever. And then of course, after the implants are placed, you have to remember and keep in mind that your gums are going to be swollen. There could be some bruising in and around your jaw and mouth. Just remember that, that's going to also change as you heal. So for those who are coming in and they may have extractions, and or bone grafts and sinus lifts and so on and so forth, the immediate that they place in your mouth, your healing denture, that could change, you know. So just keep that in mind. Of course, they're going to do the very best they can to perfect that temporary healing denture for you. But if you go back to my videos when I first had all of my teeth extracted and I had the dentures put in, my temporaries, you know, it was a process, and that's because your body changes. Your gums will shrink and the swelling will go down, and you know, it's just part of the process. And for me, I had to go in, geez, I lost track actually of how many times I actually went in, but I know at least 2 to 3 times in the first 60 days, because my gums were changing so much that they had to, Josh had to keep changing that temporary. He had to keep tweaking it a little bit, and you know, helping it to conform to my ever-changing gums. So keep that in mind too inside this process. The longer you can stay, the better, I think, for both steps. And that is probably one of the biggest reasons for those who you know, are not used to dentures maybe, and they will be leaving with their first time healing denture. Because, you know, in the United States, you have your doctor, and, you know, you go through a procedure and you have your follow-up, and if you have any problems, you just pop in and see them. And for us coming from overseas, it's a little bit harder for us to do those things. So just keep that in mind. The more time you can give them and yourself in this process, the better the outcome. Let's see here, what else? Blood work. I am getting blood work done. Not everybody will need blood work. That is going to depend greatly on your health history and any current medications or conditions you may have. Again, everyone is different. They are going to look at the entirety of your health records and your current health condition, and that's going to determine what steps they're going to want to take moving forward in the process. So keep that in mind. I will be having blood work on Monday. Let's see here. I have to write things down, because if I don't, I will forget. Let's see, 4 to 6 months for the permits place. We talked about that. And also, when I come back, I will tell you that I'm probably going to take 14 days here. Generally, people want to take like a week, 7 days. But again, the more time you give them and yourself to allow the process of constructing your forever denture. I mean, keep that in mind, forever. So this is, to me, one of the most important parts of this entire process. This is the finishing moment, and you know, I personally want it to be right. They want it to be right. They want it to be perfect, and they want it to be beautiful, and they want you to feel confident in it, but they also want it to be something that you can actually use and utilize for eating and just, you know, living every single day. So the more time that you give during this process, the better. Keep that in mind, okay? I think that it's important. I mean, not only just the end process, but knowing where I came from with getting my extractions and immediate temporary dentures placed. Afterwards, what I had went through, and if you're new at this, go way back into my videos and watch some of that. You'll see that there were many times that adjustments had to be made, and for me, I was able to just pop right in. He was 18 minutes for me, you know, give or take a few minutes. So that made it so much easier. The implants that they will be using are the Neodent made by Strom. So they said the reason why they like these is because it's kind of like a one implant fits all for the abutments. And I did a little bit of research on that last night, and that makes a lot of sense, because some implants you can only use, like, there's only 2 abutments you can use with that, and other implants that you can, you know, use just one. It's just one is just made for it, but this implant in particular can be used with many different abutments. So I think that's really awesome and kind of handy. So that's something that I think is really important, so that they are not just stuck with one single, you know, use or whatever. Let's see here. I guess, you know, the most important thing is just knowing that there will be changes in your mouth, and please keep that in mind. Like I said, please go back into my videos and watch when I had first had all my extractions done and the immediate denture placed. There, you know, your gums change. Please keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind moving into all of this. The second phase of this obviously is going to come 6 months from now. I will definitely update you though on everything that's happening after my implants are placed, of course, on Tuesday at 12:30. Later on, I will hopefully have that video showing the kind of the behind the scenes process from that first impression, and then moving throughout the process to make the surgical guide that they use to place the implants inside your mouth. I also am going to include a photo, and this photo is my mouth, so sorry, but it's going to show where they're placing the implants inside my mouth. The blue, and I have it marked, you know, it's very easy to read. You're going to see how they're going to place the implants, and I highlighted the sinus area so that you can see that, and the reason why they have 2 of the implants going this way, and that's because I'm not getting a sinus lift. I'm not getting a sinus lift. Those will be you know, tilted some in my mouth, and the reason why is because I'm not getting my sinuses touched, so no sinus lift for me. But it's going to show you where exactly they are going to place the implants, and gives you an idea too, kind of an idea where you can see that sinus and so on and so forth. And remember, everybody is different. That means your bone structure is different, your mouth is different, the size, the shape, we're all different. Bone density. The best thing that you can do for yourself in this process is lots of research. I think that's very, very important, but also just reach out, call them. They will tell you everything that you need to know about this process. They are very informative and caring and kind, and you know, they're on it. I'm blown away so far by the whole process from start to finish, from the very first conversation I had till right now at this moment. I'm also going to include that information so that you can call them and tell them your situation and your health history, what you're looking for, so on and so forth, and let them guide you in this process, because, you know, they're going to know more than anyone what you're going to need, and you know, but it's important to know and remember that we're all different, every last one of us. And I think, the permanent denture too is the zirconia. So at first I was a little confused because on my printout it had said the zirconia superstructure, but then it had that the acrylic denture, you know, top and bottom. I did talk to him about my bottom and how it floats around a lot, and I end up chewing on my my lip quite a bit. So the impression that they took the very first day during that consult, if needed, they can use that to go ahead and make that acrylic, the new one, so that they're not, you know, floating around, so on and so forth. Because I have had some gum changes, obviously, in the last, I think I seen Josh, I want to say I seen him like 2 weeks ago, something like that, and I've had some changes since then. At that time, it was just really hurting. I had hot spots, is what they call it. I had several hot spots in my mouth, and he took care of those, but it didn't stop my denture from rising and floating around inside my mouth when I'm trying to chew, and that makes me chomp down on my lip, and it seems to happen on this side more than any. I'm also going to include just some pictures as well of the colors, what they offer as far as tooth shade, and then shape and style of the actual zirconia denture. That will help also give you an idea of, you know, just color, because I mean, that's the most asked question in many of these groups and places. It's about color and shape and so on and so forth. I told him that I do like the size. I like the size and the shape of the width, the size, you know, the length and the width of my teeth, but they are kind of crooked, you know, just a little bit, and I don't like that. I'm going to be getting a tad bit wider as well, but that's later. Right now we're just going to focus on the very first phase. So, you know, that's sending the 3D scans, arriving at the clinic to get the consult. They're going to take lots of photos of your mouth. And then they're going to do the impressions, and the impressions are for the temporary healing denture and also for the next process, which is the surgical guide that's going to help them place those implants. So just a little update to give you kind of like a generalized idea on the processes involved to get to this moment that I'm at now. So hopefully this helps put some sort of timeline in everyone's parameter, what they may expect. But again, everyone is different. Please keep that in mind moving into this. Just keep that in mind. Just think of this process as an all-on X. If you're a candidate for an all-on 4, wonderful. When you get here, I don't know what they're going to tell you. I mean, I thought I was doing it all on 4, and then when I got here after the consult and the new X-rays and the scans and doing the impressions, I went to a 5. So everyone's different. Keep that in mind. All right, I love you all very, very much, and hopefully I will be following this video up with the behind-the-scenes video of the whole surgical guide process, how they construct that, and just that whole behind-the-scenes footage. So I love you very, very much, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.